am the Kid Movie Ninja.
Hi, Internet!
And welcome to Kid Movie Ninja with your hosts, Fighting Leaf and Husky the Wolf. So far, we've pretty much tackled every single Alvin and the Chipmunks movie made in the new millennium.
Yeah, every time a new one came out, we'd tear it to shreds like the bloodthirsty animals we are.
They were all rife with riffable material, but none of them were particularly good as movies. Today, however, I decided to give the franchise a fair shake.
Not every Chipmunk thing ever made was bad.
Indeed. And today, we're gonna be looking at perhaps the single greatest Chipmunk movie ever put together. The Chipmunk Adventure. The movie starts with its head in the clouds for a while before we end up in a quiet suburban neighborhood.
Then we go into one of the houses where we see Dave Seville trying to pack up before a European business trip.
And don't forget your tour book. I'm marking all the great cities you'll want to visit.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This was a problem commonly found in the 2D era of the Alvin and the Chipmunks franchise. See, their speech patterns were a little bit off, and I think I know why. See, they probably used a technique for recording their dialogue that involved them speaking the lines really slowly, but then doubling or just otherwise increasing the tempo, and that is how they raised their voices.
Yeah, this was in the days before Audacity could make you do this.
Hi, I'm Husky. I'm gonna go to your houses and chew off all your faces with my...
If you ever do that again, I'm going to make your life a never-ending torment from which there is no relief.
I've been there! It's not fun! Unfortunately, Alvin really wants to go, but Dave just can't bring him along.
I need a little culture in my life. The Eiffel Tower, the Sistine Chapel, the Louvre in Rome. The Louvre is in Paris, Alvin. You see? I don't even know where the Louvre is.
That joke seems really familiar.
Hey, first of all, that's what squirrels do. We are chipmunks. Alvin, chipmunks do that too. And the fact that I didn't know that is exactly why we cannot end up back in the forest.
If nothing else, the live-action movies really seem to have captured the personalities of the Chipmunks.
And speaking of familiar things, this is Miss Miller. She was in Road Trip. And maybe one of the other movies too, but I don't remember or care.
This questionably qualified woman is here to take care of the Chipmunks while Dave is away, because he has terrible judgment.
You will burn for this.
So Dave rushes out the door when... Then they play some kind of really non-specific video game about balloons with the Chipettes. Who ever heard of girls playing video games?
Yeah, who ever heard of that?
Video games!
Oh, look at that. Smoking in a kid's movie. That's how you know it's old. And that's also how you know they're bad guys. Yep, there are bad guys in this movie.
These two clearly not evil, vaguely European things are Claudia and Klaus. Their hobbies include talking about their illegal smuggling operations in public places near small rodent children.
Boy, it's times like this when I really lament not owning a copy of Cartoons to the Rescue.
No, we don't. It looks stupid.
Anyway, they seem to have a problem. No one's around to deliver their stolen diamonds.
Oh gee, I wonder what the solution to that problem will be.
Last year, Jamal robbed us of $3 million worth of priceless, precious, gorgeous, spectacular, to die for gems.
Man, overly rich European criminal overlords are such babies.
To the left, Alvin, to the left! Leave me alone! Watch out!
Wow. Let's Plays have really come a long way since 1987.
Fight of 87.
That's about when the evil people hear the monks arguing about their game.
You're lucky this is only a game. You'd never beat me if this were for real. Oh, is that so?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think so, but where would we find an open tattoo parlor at this time of night?
I'm gonna apologize in advance for any more particularly obvious jokes, especially ones that come from the Nostalgia Critic Nostalgia Chick crossover review of this movie. Husky and I have never actually seen that one, which is why we bothered to tackle this in the first place.
So to distract you, here's a monkey!
I am not a monkey!
So Claudia yells at Klaus for a bit, then they both go up to these small children to offer them the funding they need to race each other around the world.
I bet $1 million on this cutie.
Nothing suspicious about that at all!
$1 million? You're joking, right?
Certainly not. We're quite wealthy and very bored.
Some rich people like to go out dressed as a bat and fight crime.
Others like to swim around in their own money.
These two like to send small children on hot air balloons on dangerous smuggling missions just because they're bored.
I wish we were rich.
So Alvin and Brittany accept the wager, and if you don't know who all the Chipmunks are by now, well, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and Brittany, Jeanette, Eleanor. Done.
So now Alvin has to come up with a way to trick Miss Miller into letting them go. And I freaking miss hand-drawn animation! It's so good!
Thank you, Husky, that was really necessary. Simon, being the only one with any brains among them, refuses to contribute to Alvin's delinquency. Alvin makes a long-distance call over to Dave when he knows that he's gonna be groggy and sleepy and stuff, and records him saying key words that he can edit into a fake phone call to fool Miss Miller.
And with the older-than-fossilized dirt technology they're using, that's no small feat, especially when you consider that Alvin and Theodore are both giant derps.
And so is Miss Miller, as we can see the next morning. They spring their trap and... Okay, I'm really sorry I already used my Theodore is the Michelangelo of the group joke in a previous review. Eventually, though, Theodore does get the recording to play back properly.
I want Alvin, Simon, and Theodore to meet me in Europe.
Phew.
Bye-bye.
Could you repeat that, David?
Thankfully, that's about when the movie cuts off the joke.
Oh, thank crap!
Simon, I feel kind of funny about tricking Miss Miller. It's called guilt, Theodore. Come on, you guys.
Anyway, they make it to the meeting place, and Simon continues to have the only brain among them.
Oh, Simon, don't worry so much.
Ah, lipstick is every young male's kryptonite. Anyway, they're given their maps and are on their way when Jeanette asks Simon for advice on a route, not really getting the whole competition thing.
Simon foreshadows that a hurricane is going to hit someplace near Bermuda, but Brittany is all like, boy!
So they go on their way, and, of course, no one knows how to fly these things. No, I'm not using the Wizard of Oz clip, and you can't make me.
Now it's time for the evil laugh!
Jamal will never suspect them in a million years.
That's refreshing.
Then Claudia says that one thing you're never supposed to say in fiction.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
I don't know, maybe you could have a mole in your household that's working for your biggest rival trying to screw you over or something like that. Oh look, there was a hurricane! So the Chipettes are all... Apparently, rough weather turns them all into troll dolls. Those are still a thing, right? Troll dolls? Anyone? No? Okay.
I'm a little bit more concerned about the fact that none of them are decently dressed anymore. Was that really necessary?
Well, apparently not, because we then fade to Mexico City with the boys. Also this frame. Tee, they look silly.
Try to concentrate, Husky. Also, as someone who's been to Mexico City on a hit before, no, there are no sombrero-shaped buildings anywhere in the whole city.
Yeah, we were really disappointed.
You mean you were disappointed. Anyway, they make their first drop-off. The way it works here is that they drop off a doll that looks like them at a specific location, and pick up another doll that looks like their opponents to prove that they were there.
Hey, Leaf.
Yes, Husky?
This is an American-made movie about traveling, right?
Why, it absolutely is.
Bring on the offensive cultural stereotypes! Yes, there are sombreros, piñatas, tacos, and all of these things in Mexico City, but they're never so dadgum close to each other.
Don't get the wrong idea, though. I am not even remotely offended by any of this, and here's why. First of all, this is hilarious, but not necessarily for the reason the movie intends.
We're not laughing at the silly Mexicans doing their silly dance. We're laughing at the silly Americans who put this silly dance together.
Second, this movie is over 30 years old, way before the PC movement really took off, so this was just to be expected at the time. There's got to be a statute of limitations for how long you can stay offended at something like this.
So instead of getting offended at this stuff, just point and laugh at how dumb and ignorant we were.
And trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet.
It gets so much worse, and I'm looking forward to every second of it. And of course, old Simon Stick in the Mud gets all the bad stuff happening to him because screw responsible people.
Shenanigans happen when Mook number 1 tries to take a doll away from the guys, only to fail like the big failure he is. Also, I can't understand a word of this song.
We cut to, ooh boy, did not need to see that. Whoa, oh, didn't need to see that either. And moving on.
And now the Chipettes are going scuba diving, fully aware that none of them knows what they're doing, no doubt resulting in their little lungs exploding when they come back up later.
Remember, kids, don't try mind-numbingly stupid things at home. Leave that to professionals and morons.
They meet someone underwater who is apparently there to exchange their doll with a Chipmunk doll. Also, this other bad guy shows up, and just how many spare oxygen tanks does one guy need?
Then a shark happens. Yeesh, that was one gnarly-looking shark.
I actually do appreciate that they kept the underwater scenes free of dialogue, because that's just how real scuba gear works. Fun fact, pretty much all fish emit sound of some kind. It's just that we can't hear them because A, it's in an octave that we can't hear, or B, our ears are just not really well suited to listening to water sounds anyway.
Fun fact, shut up cause no one cares!
Alright, how about this? Fun fact, cutting a hose in an oxygen tank turns it into a torpedo that propels sharks into bad guys.
Awesome!
Thank goodness you're all right. What?
Ha ha, you suck!
And before you all type it in the comments, yes, we're perfectly aware that she was kidding.
Well, I wasn't. Ha ha!
So, let's see how many national monuments and unsavory stereotypes we can cram into one musical montage.
I don't know where a lot of these places are, but I am not happy with the lack of offensive stereotypes in this song.
Still, it's a pretty relaxing piece, and the artwork is superb. Oh yeah, there's a running gag about Theodore not being able to get a single bite to eat wherever they go. Which makes me wonder, how long is this trip taking? Are they just not eating for days and days at a time?
Do the Chipmunks just share a collective stomach inside of Theodore, and that's why he eats so much?
Or has this all been an illusion? Alvin has been in a coma for the past 10 years and is only dreaming about all these adventures he's going on.
And that's why all of them center around him so much! He's the star! He's the adventurer! He's the—
You should not be buying any of this.
If you are, then you are a gullible dummy! So after the really half-naked European guy again?
Wonderful. Good.
Oh no! They got wet at the pool.
That to me sounds like a serious case of
Oh, Sophie! You got fat!
Yeah, there is such a thing as being too rich, you know.
So the monks go to Athens and, this tracking shot is making me sick.
Oh yeah, one little problem that cartoons of this era tended to have. See, tracking shots like those tended to have little jitters to them, which could activate people's motion sickness. However, as I was editing this, I realized that jitter was actually more of a result of the playback device and not a result of the movie itself. However, I still wanted to use this joke. I don't know why I like that sound effect so much. Then Alvin tries to pull an Aladdin by stealing this apple, only to find Brittany trying to do the same thing. What role models?
Also, that apple is freaking huge! And can change sizes, apparently. And this is something that's always bugged me about the classic representation of the Chipettes. What's with all the freaking underwear shots? Come on, people, this ain't anime!
So, Alvin and Brittany bump egos for a while, and then set up probably the single greatest moment in Chipmunk history. Even better than Super Alvin in Road Chip. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for one of my favorite musical numbers in any animated feature ever.
You wanted the best! You got the best!
Time for the Chipmunks and the Chipettes' greatest clash,
The Girls of Rock and Roll!
Yeah, that's technically the official name of this song.
Whatever! Hit it! Oh man, check out that freaking rubber spine action!
There is so much energy here, so much feeling behind this song. If the high-pitched voices turn you off to this, then I pity you, because this is great.
Also, statues of symbolism! All in all, this song is freaking awesome!
No, it couldn't be. The boys wouldn't.
Dave, there are dozens of episodes of the cartoon series that should really alert you to the opposite.
You're an idiot.
Himself?
Then Dave calls the house to check up on everything, only to learn one more reason why hiring an idiot to watch your kids is a stupid idea.
Is Alvin available?
Available for what?
To talk.
Well, how should I know?
Well, give the boys my love.
Why don't you give them your love?
Well, are they available?
Available for what?
Oh, Miss Miller, you seriously need to be in a home.
Oh, that poor man is losing his marbles.
Okay, guys. What's coming up next is probably one of the most uncomfortable yet strangely entertaining scenes in the film.
Oh, the problems. The funny, awkward problems.
This is Egypt. You can tell because there are pyramids here.
And desert bandits riding camels. In 1987. Eh, boy. And the Chipettes are throwing clothing at them to keep them away.
This happens to be my favorite dress, Jeanette.
Yeah, forget about the whole survival thing.
She needs to look fabulous! They get captured and, oh boy.
I will rule the world.
I can't even pretend to get offended at this.
Is that seriously what people thought the ruler of Egypt was like?
Something like that, yeah.
Ah, their ignorance is so cute. I just want to hug it. Apparently, Jamal, this mysterious person the evil rich people are struggling against, asked the prince or king...
They call him a sheik in this movie.
Whatever. Jamal wanted him to capture them, but since he sees them, he wants to keep them.
He can have...
In 10 years, I will make her one of my wives.
One of your wives?
That is messed up!
Oh, but wait, it gets better.
Excuse me, sir, but, you wouldn't want to marry Brittany. She's very difficult. And she's not very tidy. And her cooking is atrocious. And she spends money like a drunken sailor. And when she doesn't get her way, that's enough, you guys!
I'm usually not a fan of awkward scenes in movies, but this one is a different kind of awkward that just is uncomfortably amusing.
Are we bad people?
Yeah, probably.
If you think I'm gonna
What is a twerp?
Oh, the stock tropes are strong with this one. Anyway, he sends them off to dress up like harem girls. Oh man.
Who cares? Penguin!
How cute! Whatever happened to diamonds and rubies?
Hey, screw you! Penguins are awesome! And it just so happens to have an oversized locket with a picture of its mommy and daddy. My brain doesn't even.
So they slip out to find their dolls and get the heck out of there, but Eleanor says she'll be right back.
Weird time for a bathroom break. Anyway, they find their dolls on the demonic Ark of the Covenant here, and then snakes happen. Because Egypt.
That would be like the US president booby-trapping a room by filling it with bald eagles.
Which would be awesome! Then Brittany suggests charming them by singing. The Chipmunk solution to all problems. And I think it's working a little bit too well. Ah, that face!
Oh look, Eleanor's back. Now they can escape.
What's in the ice chest, Eleanor?
A penguin.
I'm sorry, did I say that last scene was uncomfortable?
Well, it was.
Yeah, this next scene has that beat by a landslide.
Yay, offensive stereotypes! Stop me if you've heard this one. 3 adventurers sleep in the jungle, only to have one of them stolen away in the night by tribal people, forcing the others to slip into a primitive village to rescue it.
Yeah, we've heard this one before, Husky. This is an all too common trope for cartoons as old as animation itself. I wonder what the tribesmen will look like. Oh, wow, that is bad. I mean, there's stylization, and then there's 1940s propaganda style uncomfortable.
Oh, wow, that is shameful.
Let's watch it get worse.
Awesome!
We make you a heap good offer. See pretty clothes? Nice shoesies? Make 'em plenty good music. You take 'em all this wampum, and we take 'em little butterball. You steal 'em from us last night. How about it? Brilliant negotiating, Alvin.
The only way that could have been any worse is if that had worked.
Oh yeah, remember that joke I was describing? The ones that cartoons have been doing forever? Here's the punchline.
Yep, Theodore has been mistaken for some kind of deity, and Simon understands the clear gibberish they're speaking, because why the heck wouldn't he?
Meanwhile, in Oz or something, the girls find, oh look, a penguin! And Eleanor wants to take a quick detour to the South Pole to bring him back home. So let's see here. They started off in Bermuda, then at some point went to Athens, then they took a hop, skip, and a jump over to Egypt, and now they're planning on giving up 100,000 smackers to go to the friggin' South Pole!
Maybe the power of singing will get them there faster.
That makes no sense!
What has in this movie? This song is very sad and strangely soothing. Like all the songs in this movie, as long as you can get past the high-pitched voices, they're actually really good.
But their going off course doesn't please Miss Bad Guy Lady at all. She assumes that they discovered the money and the diamonds in the dolls. They didn't, of course, but she's evil, so that's what she thinks is happening.
Oh look, they made it to the South Pole.
Good geography, this is America!
No, it's not. Oh, yeah. Those tiny jackets and harem girl outfits will do wonders against the biting cold of the South Pole!
That'd be like taking a raincoat to go deep-sea diving! Oh yeah, this ugly guy shows up to take the dolls from them, but then the penguins, save the day with Sub-Zero snowballs!
This drives the bad guys away, but one of the dolls was ripped during the struggle, revealing the diamonds inside.
They then open up a Chipmunk doll and find that it's full of money! Wait, are $1,000 bills a thing?
Maybe they're smuggling cheap bookmarks.
Oh, okay. What?
They reasonably deduce that the boys are in just as much danger as they are. They're right, of course,
but not for the reasons they're thinking.
Time to revisit that setup with the tribesmen that we keep talking about. There's actually one more detail that we have yet to cover.
The freaking human sacrifice!
Oh no! They're going to sacrifice Theodore tonight! Over my dead body.
Obvious joke, you're clear for landing, over.
You mean over our dead bodies?
Touchdown, obvious joke! Now back to the horribly offensive stereotypes!
Yeah, this is racist. There's no getting around it. Against who specifically, I don't really know. What I do know is that these tribal people are portrayed as dumb, incompetent, ugly, and hostile without showing off the possibility of any variation on that.
But we can't get mad at it because it's just so stupid. It's funny. And like with any of their problems, they get out of it by singing another song.
And as much as I enjoy listening to this one, I still cannot for the life of me understand a word anyone's saying. Also, I think bouncing around like that is actively making their situation worse. Well, they can't all be gems, I guess.
Also, space is warped and time is bendable because the Chipettes have traveled by balloon from the end of the friggin' planet all the way to the equator in like a night or something because here they are coming to the rescue. How do they do that? Hey, wait a second, back that up.
Alright, good eye, Husky. Looks like we've got a little continuity hiccup here.
They started off in their Desert Egypt clothing, right? But for this one clip, they're all properly dressed in their normal outfits again.
But the next time the camera cuts to them, they're in their harem outfits again.
0 out of 10.
Yeah, we know the joke, moving on. In the next scene, Claudia is not happy about anything at all, and Klaus seriously needs a longer robe. But then we learn something about Jamal. He's not an evil person, he's an Interpol agent.
Meaning he was one of the good guys the whole time! Yes, these were the good guys in this movie. Also... Bap.
Now then, everyone is gathering up at the LA airport for the final confrontation.
Let's bring it home!
Let's do this. Klaus and Claudia clash with the scantily clad Chipmunks and Chipettes. Simon is competent. A musical chase scene happens. The movie reminds us how much more lax airport security was back in 1987. They lie and say that they're holding Miss Miller hostage. They abduct the kids. When a divine wind carries Alvin's hat all the way to Dave, he and Jamal have a car chase with the bad guys. Traffic stops them, but then Crazy Lady drives headlong into them, killing them instantly. Okay, she doesn't because it's a cartoon. She stops the bad guys, Dave and Jamal catch up with them. She should not be driving right now. Alvin pesters Dave about still wanting his $100,000, and Dave responds with,
Alvin! The end!
And there you have it. An Alvin and the Chipmunks movie that I actually really liked. Sure, it's got its problems, the most notable being the whole racial stereotyping thing, but any reasonable audience member can learn to have fun with it, using it to laugh at ourselves for what we used to think was okay. Other than that, the adventure was epic, the characters were fun to look at, and I will never stop harping about how much I miss this style of animation. I really should have appreciated it more when I was younger. It's a simple boy vs. girl story that does everything it needs to be fun and enjoyable, and I highly recommend it, both for sincere and ironic reasons.
Well, that was fun.
But next time, we're gonna be looking at something a little bit different. Here's a question for you.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I am the kid movie ninja.
Oh, that poor man is losing his marbles.
Time for another Patreon shout to Jordan Mathis and Steve Sharp. Check out Sharp Rain Music at the link in the description below. Hey, do you like that background image that I have floating around back there? Well, you can just hop right on over to patreon.com and figure out how to score your very own official Fighting Leaf desktop background for the month of June. Also, here are a couple of other videos that you might like. I recommend the American Tail review, as it is also a movie made in the same era as this one. Take care, guys. Later.